My name is Charlie Hutto and I'm riding my bicycle in northwestern Oregon. In April 2021, I rode my bicycle from my home in Albany, Oregon, north to Astoria, south along the coast to Newport, and back home. Thank you for joining me on my journey.
I'm a pop star. I'm a radio star. And I'm so popular 'cause I'm a pop star.
Alright, good morning. It's Monday morning here in Big Eddy State Park, and that's where I slept last night. You can see that, my tent and my bike. Getting packed up now. It's about 7:30 in the morning, about 41 degrees. It's kind of chilly this morning. Didn't rain last night at all, but it did drip pretty much all night. It felt like on my tent, or it seemed like on my tent, 'cause I kept hearing things. So the rain flies pretty wet, but it's okay. I stayed high and dry inside the tent, no problem at all. Let's see. So I'm gonna make some oatmeal here and get ready to go here in a little bit and get my biking clothes on and all that. They're nice and clammy and cold and everything. They didn't really dry out too well yesterday, but oh well, should be better today. So yeah, speaking of today, it's gonna be a 62-mile ride today, so not as far as the last 2 days. And let's see, I only have, I think it's 22 or 2,300 feet of climbing, so a little bit of climbing, but a lot of it's going to be right towards the middle. There's a 700-foot pass I have to go over to get from the Nehalem River Valley over to the Youngs River Valley and then down to Astoria. So good news is no rain expected today. Looks like the winds today are going to be either crosswind or tailwind, so no headwinds. So that's definitely a good thing. It's also supposed to be dry, no rain, and then over at the beach, sun might even come out this afternoon, so I can hopefully get some of this stuff out to dry. So I'm gonna get packed up for good here in a little bit and get going. All right, goodbye, Big Eddy County Park. Heading to Astoria. Here we go. Alright, nice brand new pavement up here. I think this is only a year or two old. Thank you, ODOT. Okay, so I'm here in Jewel, Oregon, or just outside of Jewel, a little tiny town, and I'm here at a little pullout area where at Jewel Meadow, which is where you can see a lot of elk and deer. I think in the fall. Definitely not this time of year. There's not a single elk or deer anywhere to be seen. Although I did see a couple deer a little further back. And I'm stopping here for a little break. Just had a burrito shell. It was really good, and I'll probably have a little more snack. Behind me, I got my tarp drying out right now. It's pretty wet, but I think just laying it out here for a few minutes in the sun, almost sun, and wind, will actually help it out. So get it dry, which is good. Less weight that I have to carry around. So I'm just at the start of the big hill here. I've been actually going uphill a little bit for the last half mile or so. So I've got another 7 or 8 miles of that, and then descend down into Astoria. The ride so far today has been really good. Almost no traffic at all. Some logging trucks and some illegal chip trucks I saw, but really not very much else going on. A lot of good pavement as well. No rain, which is great. The wind has just picked up in the last few minutes. I think I'm starting to feel the ocean influence here. So it's coming out of the west instead of out of the south. So that should be just a crosswind most of the way, but hopefully it'll kick around out of the south and help me a little bit going up the hill. I'm gonna finish up my snack and get going. I lied. Look, elk. Not gazillions of them, but you know, a few dozen. That's kind of cool. Okay, made it to the top of the pass here, about 1,300 feet and change. Not too bad a climb. It's long. It wasn't that bad actually. It's a mile and a half of real serious climbing at 5% or more. I saw the grade thing hit 9 once or twice, but most times stayed between 5, 5.5, something like that. So not real terrible. Put it in granny gear and got up here in a few minutes. Anyway, that way that you're looking at is downhill to the Nahum River Valley, which I just came up, and I'll turn around and we're going to go that way downhill to the Youngs River Valley and Astoria. So that's the plan. I'm just stopping up here now for my I guess formal lunch break or whatever. I'm gonna need a Cliff Bar and drink a little water and head on down the hill. I'd say I'm at sea level, or maybe 1 foot above sea level. High tide is around 1 or 2 o'clock today. It happens to be just after 1 o'clock right now, so it looks like it is as high as it's gonna get. So how about that? Made it to sea level. Alright, so you can see where I am. Let's see, just made it to Astoria. If you take that road straight ahead, it's now behind me a little bit downtown Astoria. You go across the big bridge, go to Washington State, or head to Portland or whatever. I'm going to hang a left on what is actually US 101 business, head towards Fort Stevens State Park. So it should be good. Getting close. It's being done for the day, probably another 8 miles or so. The wind is out of the north, out of the south as expected, so it's a headwind. Yeah, it's not the other one, that's not that bad. Anyway, let me take a moment here to say something amazing. I just rode my bike to Astoria from Albany. It took 3 days, more than 200 miles, but I got here. I can't believe it. I rode my bike to Astoria. Huh. Yeah, scratch that off my list of things to do. All right, heading toward the campground now. Time for another edition of Talk Like an Oregonian. Today's gonna be pretty easy because I didn't see anything weird on the way down here, anything unusual. So I'm gonna give you an easy one and show you this road sign right there. So what I'm looking for is Lewis and Clark School. That's no problem. Youngs River Road. That's great. Seaside, which is where I'll be heading in a couple of days. What's the town above that? How do you pronounce it? It's pretty easy, but I'll give you a couple seconds to think it. Okay. So you pronounce that. It's pretty easy. Warrenton. Nothing too hard. Warrentown. Nothing weird. So Warrenton, anyway, that's where I'm actually heading right now. I got to go through there to get to Fort Stevens State Park, and it's kind of a big built-up area over there. There's a Costco and a Fred Meyer and all kinds of stuff over that way. So I'm heading there right now, and I'll be there in a few minutes. Okay, well, made it to camp here at Fort Stevens State Park. Yeah, the hiker-biker site here is really nice. There's like 10 or 11 sites or something like that. I'm in number 8, and that's my tent behind me. And only a couple other people are here right now, but it's really quiet. It's here in the trees, and just really nice. Got some wind going this afternoon. It's warm enough to where I'm in shorts and a t-shirt right now. It's probably going to cool off later, of course. I got in, I've been eating a little bit, and took a shower and washed all my biker stuff that's hanging over there on my tent to dry. Really nice getting a chance to dry out all my stuff too, so definitely a good thing. Seems to be some mosquitoes around here. They're not like biting types. They're just kind of annoying, so I gotta learn to deal with them. But yeah, I'm probably gonna lay down here and get my tent and get my sleeping bag and all that set up, and maybe take a nap. We'll see how that goes. Tomorrow I'll be here for 2 nights. Tomorrow I'm taking a day off from riding, and I'm going to go take a walk. There's a shipwreck I got to go look at, and some other things around here in the park that I can go explore. So it should be pretty cool. So check back in a little bit. Well, I'm here at Fort Stevens, and they had something called the Sunset Trail that goes down to the shipwreck. So I thought that's a good idea, considering that it's sunset, and sure enough, there's a shipwreck. How about that? Kind of hard to see there perhaps, but it doesn't go that far. But yeah, I'm gonna sit here and watch sunset and head back to camp and go to bed. So thanks for watching. Good night. Couple more batteries. Big open field here. And some more stuff down there that I'm going to check out in a little bit. But right now I'm going to go climb these batteries and see